Most people think to master piano, you need to learn a whole lot of theory. But what if I told you that learning theory actually could be slowing you down? After 20 plus years of playing the piano, conservatory training, solo shows, orchestra tours, jazz gigs, I've seen it over and over. Too much theory kills momentum. And even for me, surrounded by theory at uni, I found that it made playing harder and less enjoyable. So here's the truth. You don't need theory, you need a plan. So if I had to learn piano over again in 12 months and start from zero, here's exactly how I would do it. All right, let's start with months 1 to 3. That's the phase where you're just starting out. Maybe you bought a new piano, maybe you saw someone play something cool, and you also want to do this. Now, how do you start playing the piano? First of all, I would just focus on basic chords. No need to learn scales, no need to learn the black keys. Just forget about those for the beginning. Just learn some basic chords. And you can start with, for example, C major, of course. And there's also G major, A minor, F major, and also D minor and E minor. Now, you wouldn't actually have to learn those names as well. It's enough to just know where the chord is, and they're all actually the same shape in your hand. So this is minimal theory required and minimal things to learn. But with those 6 chords, you can play pretty much, I would say, 96% of all songs out there. So I want you to have the mindset of momentum over perfection. Don't get stuck on certain things you still can't get quite right. Just move on, maybe learn a different song. Also, try as many different songs as possible. So with these chords, you can just also play along to a video on YouTube, which gets you instantly sounding awesome, and it's a lot of fun. So let's get to months 4 to 6, right? You've had this initial beginner phase, you've stuck to learning the piano and you want to continue, you want to move on. What's the next step? So now it's about learning inversions like this, and also playing in all keys. So this is where the black keys come in. We start moving from C major to maybe B major, B flat major like this. And it's about practicing the same chord progression in different keys, for example. So one thing you can do for this second phase, once you've figured out how to use inversions, you can do a simple 1, 5, 6, 4 progression and move it to, let's say, the key of A major. For example, you can also play songs like Let It Be in different keys. And for this phase, I can also recommend you check out my course, Chord Mastery. I'll tell you more about it at the end of the video. This is not supposed to be a pitch right now. I just wanted to mention it. So let's get to that next phase, months 7 to 9. This is where things really get interesting. First of all, congratulations if you've made it this far. Really, half a year of consistently playing and learning the piano is a great achievement, and you should be very proud of yourself for this. And now in this phase, months 7 to 9, we want to develop style, use patterns, and also develop our repertoire, right? So to master piano, we do need to have some kind of repertoire to actually call ourselves a pianist. So for example, you would focus more on left-hand patterns and learn different styles of left-hand patterns. It could be a pattern like it's like a more driving pattern. You can also do like a ballad type of pattern like this. And this is about developing your own style. So you'll start to figure out when you sit down at the piano, which patterns, which progressions do you naturally gravitate to. Maybe it's the driving rock rhythms, maybe it's more of the soft pop ballad style of patterns. And yeah, this is how you develop your own style. And you can then start to apply these patterns to different songs. A challenge for these 3 months would be to learn maybe 10 songs which you can play, preferably in their original key, because that's how most people know them in their heads. And then you can figure out appropriate patterns for these songs, and you'll have a basic repertoire in your own style. So let's get to the last and crucial phase, months 10 to 12. Now this is where you really expand your repertoire and you build true mastery through repetition. So once you find something that works, don't stop doing it and keep repeating. If, for example, you choose now 20 to 30 songs which you love and you just play them over and over again, play them on repeat, practice your hands together, and then you can also try playing with your eyes closed. Now this is a little pro tip, and don't do this unless you feel comfortable playing it normally already. And for example, if we have this progression here, and I can now close my eyes and find sort of the next chord through moving my fingers, and you can see how my fingers are kind of like walking around on the keyboard. And this is where it's really a fun step where you develop this confidence of my hands and the keys are kind of like becoming one. The keys are becoming an extension of my body rather than this foreign thing that I'm working on. So this phase is where you build mastery and keep repeating. It's also the phase where you can start to improvise. Use maybe progressions you know or a song you know, and start to explore what happens if I maybe play different inversions in the right hand. What if I use a different pattern? What if I combine them? What if I vary the melody a bit? So, for example, let's say we're just playing Let It Be. It starts like this. And for example, what if I go up with the melody and try to create my own melody instead of following the original, like this? And this is a fun step if you already feel confident and playing the chord progressions and songs starts to get maybe a bit boring. This is a great sign for you that you're ready to start improvising. And a little story from me, I sometimes play on weddings. For example, they ask me to play just some background piano music during dinner. And you know, you don't want to be sitting there having your huge folder of sheet music, just looking through, oh, which song am I going to play next? I had my phone there on the music stand, and I had a list, like a Google Doc, literally, of, it was 40, 50 songs with their the key behind it, because I can't memorize the key of each song. But yeah, no chords, no progressions, no melody. And just I looked at the title of the song and the key, and I was like, oh yeah, perfect, Ed Sheeran in A flat. And then you start playing. And this is how I can literally, play background piano for like 2 hours. And yeah, they loved it. And this is how you really master piano. I think if you're at this stage, then you've achieved pretty much piano freedom and you can call yourself a pianist. So if you're just starting out, I encourage you to skip theory. Don't worry about it, whatever someone else might tell you, and focus on chords, on songs, and smart repetition. And this is what really gets you to be fluent on the piano. And if you want help through especially that 4 to 6 month phase, then I would highly recommend you check out my course, Chord Mastery. It covers inversions, playing in all keys, and it's really the exact system that I wish I had 10 years earlier maybe. Now the link is in the description or the pinned comment. If you want to check it out, click this video if you want, and I'll see you again in the next lesson.